We'll come out of recess. Julie,
Yes.
ready for you?
Okay, where should I?
Right here.
Sit here? Okay. How's everybody doing?
Good. Judy?
Oh, good. It was kind of a haul up here today to get through the weather, I tell you that. I told the auditor downstairs, or the lady in the office, that I saw patches where there'd be 5 or 6 or 7 cars, like between my store city and a little bit north, where they were all on their roofs. And they'd been there a few days. They had the tape on and everything, so it was kind of a mess. But anyway, well, I just wanted to talk to you a few minutes about a program that we're working on for the State Office of Energy Independence, and kind of give you the details of the program, and then just really find out if it's something that could be of benefit to you here in the county for some of the, not just the courthouse, but if you have other facilities that you take care of here in the area. We've been working with a lot of boards of supervisors in different cities and schools across the state as we're relaunching this program for the Office of Energy Independence. So let me pass out the informational sheet if you don't mind. Okay.
Thank you.
Yes. Anybody else?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. Thank you. Well, basically, we've got a program that our firm, the Energy Group, has been retained by the Office of Energy Independence to help them market this. It's their kind of the energy management program for the state. I know, in recent times, budgets have been an issue, and the governor just recently issued his Executive Order 20, which in particular is addressing things like energy efficiency and public buildings. So maybe the time is right for what we're talking about. So the Building Energy Smart Today program, or BEST for short, is intended to help public facilities to assist you in kind of determining your current efficiency of your facilities and giving you the technical and financial assistance to possibly implement energy efficiency improvements through us as an independent third party that's been retained by the state to help you coordinate what needs to get done in order to identify and maybe implement some of those improvements. I don't know if you've had any energy audits done by your utility. I thought I saw Mid-American was your electric provider. We're working in conjunction with the utility actually and trying to coordinate efforts as we go out and talk to people like yourselves to make sure that you're getting kind of the best of everything available to you as we go out and take a look at what's happening in your facilities. Basically, I'll just tell you kind of in a nutshell how the program is intended to work. Each area we go into, or each county, it's a little bit different because everybody's kind of got their own set of different number of buildings, different ages, different maybe challenges and things that perhaps you've already identified, or you don't know of anything, but you want to take a look at it. Particularly what we would normally be looking at are things like your lighting system. Is it up to date and retrofit some more efficient T8 electronic lamps and ballasts? Exit signs, lighting controls like night setback, your heating and cooling system, windows installation that can kind of cover the gamut of anything involving energy consumption and the costs associated with that. Once we've talked to you about the program, and hopefully what you'll agree to today is to kind of think it over and look at the buildings that you have and let us come back and do an initial kind of walkthrough of those facilities. What we would normally do, I actually brought a couple of forms with me. We could ask you to get sign a release form from the utility to give us access to like 24 months of your utility bills, just to look at what you're actually spending on your electrical consumption, and then do a walkthrough of the building to kind of see how up to date things are. What we can do then is gauge what your actual, how do you guys compare to other facilities of the same, similar size in the state, of similar size, square footage, and age, and so forth, to kind of give you an idea of how efficiently are you actually operating. When we get to that level of an initial walkthrough, we would basically then determine what's the next step in the program. At that point, if we think we've identified some areas that there's some cost-saving opportunities for you, we would suggest that you enroll in the BEST program. And once we get to that point, there's two ways we can go with it. So far in most counties, we've been working with the state. They have what they call a small building energy audit, which is a program that we would either work with somebody on our staff or with the utility to go out and actually audit the facilities. It kind of depends on the scope of what we identify initially in the upfront walkthrough as far as how in-depth any sort of analysis needs to be. So, like I said, in most cases so far in the counties we've been going to, the small building energy audit has seemed to be sufficient as far as gathering the data, doing an assessment, and ultimately figuring out where the opportunities are for improvement. On a more comprehensive scale, we would typically be looking at what the state calls a TEA, or technical engineering analysis, which would be done through an engineering firm on the state's pre-approved list. But that's normally, well, we had Fayette County where they were looking at geothermal system for their courthouse, and so they kind of went that route. However, a lot more often we're going to find that needed to be like with school districts and with hospitals and things of that nature. But basically what we would do is help you as you get going. Once we've determined which route we want to go, coordinate the efforts. And so what we've been able to do with Mid-American, for example, is to get their agreement to work with the state to help offset any costs that would be associated with the study. If you do the small building energy audit, there's a $250 charge per building that gets paid to the state. We are already paid for by the state under contract, but the fees are basically intended to help the state run this program, keep it self-sustaining, and also to kind of pay for the engineering analysis done at the state after the building audit or the technical engineering analysis is done.